Okay, let's just jump right in. We are talking about the absolute core of how music works, the formulas,
Hmm.
the things that make hit songs feel, well, not just good, but almost inevitable.
Like you've heard them before, even when you haven't.
Exactly. So today our mission is to basically find the cheat codes. We're breaking down chord progressions.
It's the perfect place to start. I mean, people see music theory and they think it's this huge, complicated maze.
Right.
But the truth is, something like 90% of popular music is built on just a handful of these patterns.
And it all starts with the most basic unit, the chord. So what actually is a chord, fundamentally?
In the simplest terms, a chord is just three or more different musical notes played at the same time,
All at once.
all at once. But it's the construction that really matters.
Mhm.
The notes are almost always stacked in intervals of thirds.
And that just means you skip every other note in a scale?
Right, that's it. So if you're on the note C, you skip D, land on E.
Skip F, land on G. So C, E, G.
Exactly. And that basic structure, that CEG, is called a triad. You have your root note, a third, and a fifth,
And that simple little combo is what immediately sets the whole emotional feel.
instantly. This is probably the most crucial distinction in all of music. When that middle note, the third, is a major third, the chord sounds bright, happy.
Cheerful, yeah?
But if you just lower that one note by a tiny half step, the chord becomes minor. And the feeling just completely shifts, becomes serious or sad or, you know, a bit dark.
It's incredible. It's like the difference between sunshine and a rainy day just from one note changing.
It is. So mastering that triad, and especially that major-minor difference, that's the key. It creates the whole foundation, and it gives musicians a universal language. If I say C major, you know exactly what three notes to play.
Okay, so that's the what. Let's get into the why, the core four functions.
Right. This is the harmony team that basically runs the whole show in Western music. Every song you love relies on these roles.
And first up is the captain of the team, the anchor, the tonic. That's the Roman numeral I.
The tonic is home base. Simple as that. It represents the home key of the song, and its job is to provide this feeling of rest, of completion. It's the musical center of gravity.
It's what the whole song is built around.
Absolutely. Most songs start on the tonic to tell you, hey, we're home. And almost every single song ends there to feel finished.
Like the period at the end of a sentence.
Exactly. If a song ends anywhere else, it just feels unresolved. It leaves you hanging.
Okay, so if the tonic is home, you need something that makes you want to go home, something that creates a journey.
And that is the job of the dominant, the V chord. It's built on the fifth note of the scale.
In C major, the tonic is C, so the dominant would be G.
Perfect. And its one and only function is to create tension. Sometimes you'll even see it as a V7, a dominant seventh, because adding that extra note just makes the tension even sharper. It practically demands that you go back home.
Okay, but why? Why does it pull so hard? What makes that V to I relationship so powerful?
Well, it's a mix of physics and history, but a big part of it is that one of the notes in the dominant chord is just a single half step away from the tonic's root note.
Ah, so it's super close.
It's so close. In that G major chord, you have the note B, and that B desperately wants to resolve up to C, which is the root of our home chord. That V to I movement is the engine of Western music. It's the tension and release that keeps you hooked.
So we have rest with the I and tension with the V. What's next? We need some contrast, maybe something a little softer.
That's where the subdominant comes in, the IV chord. It's built on the fourth note of the scale.
So in C major, that would be an F major chord.
F major, exactly. And its function is to provide a much gentler movement. It's like a little detour, not a big dramatic journey. It doesn't have that demanding pull like the dominant does.
It's the kind of chord you hear a lot in verses before things really ramp up.
Precisely. It's a huge part of blues, rock, folk music. You'll often see it leading into the dominant, so you get this really classic IVVI progression. It just opens up the musical world a little bit.
Okay, and for our final core member, the emotional one.
Ah.
My favorite, the submediant.
The Vi chord. Right, this one's built on the sixth note of the scale. And here's the key part. In a major key, this chord is almost always a minor chord.
So in C major, that would be A minor.
A minor, and its job is purely emotional. It adds this touch of longing or maybe a bittersweet feeling.
It's all over pop ballads.
Oh, it is. And here's the little secret why. The submediate, the Vi chord, is a really clever substitute for the tonic. Think about the notes. C major is C, E, and G.
Right.
A minor is A, C, and E. They share 2 out of 3 notes.
C and E, so they're related.
They're related, so you can move from your happy home bass to this slightly sadder minor chord really smoothly. It doesn't sound jarring. It just adds this beautiful new layer of emotional color.
Okay, so we've got our core four, I, the home, V, the tension, IV, the contrast, and V, the emotion. Let's put them together. The songwriting cheat code.
Yes, the instant hit generator.
The most famous, I think the most used progression in the world is the loop that goes from I to V, then to V, and finally to IV.
IVV. That is the sound of modern pop music. It just works so well because it hits all 4 of those functions in a perfect little loop. You start at home, build tension, get emotional, add some contrast, and then you're right back home again. It's just so pleasing to our ears.
And it's not an exaggeration to say it's everywhere. I mean, you hear it in Don't Stop Believin', you hear it in Green Day, Lady Gaga.
Aha's Take on Me.
Yeah.
It's endless. And what's amazing is how versatile it is. You can play that progression and throw almost any melody on top, and it works. It's why it's the first thing beginners learn. You get great results fast.
Okay, but before anyone starts writing their hit song, there are some rules to the game. We have to talk about key signatures.
Yes, this is a must. Before you pick a single chord, you have to know what key you're in.
It's not just a technical thing, right? It's like the framework. It tells you which notes are allowed.
That's a perfect way to put it. A key signature tells you which notes are going to be sharp or flat for the entire song. So if you're in G major, you just know that every F is automatically an F sharp. If you play a regular F, it's going to sound wrong.
So the key tells you the family of chords that belong together.
Exactly. And that's all about consistency. In C major, you have a set family of 7 chords that naturally fit. Knowing that keeps your music organized. If you suddenly throw in a chord from outside that family, the listener will hear it immediately.
Like a mistake?
Well, it can be a mistake.
Yeah.
Or it can be done on purpose for a really cool dramatic effect. But you have to know the rules first.
That makes a lot of sense. So once we have our chords and our key, the next step is making it sound professional, making the transition smooth. This is voice leading.
Voice leading. This is the difference between sounding like a beginner, clunking out chords, and sounding fluid. It's the art of moving between chords as smoothly as possible.
So instead of your hand jumping all over the piano, you're trying to keep the movement as small as you can.
That's the goal. When you change chords, you find the shortest path for each note. If 2 chords share a note, you just keep that note in the same place. It avoids big clunky jumps.
It's like a choir, right? Where each singer only moves their own note up or down a little bit to get to the next chord.
That's a great analogy. It makes the harmony flow like one continuous stream. And that's why musicians practice inversions, just different ways of stacking the same notes of a chord. Using them lets you find that shortest path and gives your playing a really polished sound.
What's wild is that it's not just which chords you play, but how you play them. We have to talk about rhythm. Harmonic rhythm.
Yes, you can take that exact same IV loop and make it a slow ballad or a super fast punk song.
The notes are identical, but the feel is totally different.
And that is all about harmonic rhythm. The timing of the chord changes. If you change chords on every beat, it's exciting. It's got energy.
And if you hold each chord for, say, 4 beats,
It feels calm, relaxed, even majestic. The timing completely dictates the mood.
you can even change the genre with it.
Oh, absolutely. If you play the chords right on the beat, 1, 2, 3, 4, it sounds very straightforward, very rock.
Yeah.
But you start syncopating them, playing them a little off the beat.
Suddenly it's got a groove.
It's got a groove. It becomes R&B or funk. The rhythm is just as important as the notes themselves.
Okay, we have our chords, our rhythm. Now we need to finish the piece. We need punctuation, cadences.
Right. Just like language needs commas and periods, so does music. A cadence is just a 2-chord progression at the end of a phrase that tells the listener what's happening.
It manages the flow.
It does. The most important one is the perfect cadence. That's moving from the V, the dominant, back to the I, the tonic.
The big finale.
The big finale. It sounds like a solid period. The thought is complete. It's over.
And what's the opposite of that?
That would be an imperfect cadence.
Yeah.
That's any phrase that ends on the V chord, the tension chord. Because you're ending on tension, it feels.
Unfinished.
Unfinished, like a comma or a question mark. It tells you there is definitely more music coming.
Is there a softer kind of ending?
There is. It's called the plagal cadence. That's the IV to I movement. It doesn't have that forceful resolution of the V to I. It's often called the amen cadence because you hear it all the time at the end of hymns in church.
Ah, okay. I can hear that.
Understanding these is key to making a song feel like a satisfying journey for the listener.
So the harmony's done, the flow is smooth. Last piece of the puzzle. the tune on top, the melody.
And the guideline here is actually really simple. Most of your melody notes should come from the notes that are already inside the chord you're playing.
So if the chord is C major, you're mostly using the notes C, E, and G for your melody.
Exactly. It just guarantees that the melody will sound good with the harmony. You can, of course, use what we call passing notes, the notes in between, to make it flow better.
But the main important notes should land on the chord tones.
Right. And a good melody generally moves in small steps, not big jumps. It should be something you can easily sing back, something memorable.
The simpler, the better. You can just hum ideas over your chord loop until something clicks.
That's often the best way to start. And look, these rules apply to any instrument. Piano is great for seeing the notes laid out. Guitar is great for learning chord shapes. But the theory, the IVVIV, it's identical on all of them.
And a really quick way to get better is just to record yourself.
Oh, definitely.
Listening back helps you immediately hear where the transitions are messy or where the rhythm feels a bit weak. It trains your hands and your ears so much faster.
So if we boil this all down to one final thought, it's all about understanding those four core functions: the tonic, dominant, subdominant, and submedian. That's the universal secret.
The I, V, IV, and V.
But the real art, the thing that makes music truly connect with people, is how you move between them smoothly with good voice leading and how you time those changes with rhythm. That's what separates a formula from real music.
The secret formula, hidden right there in plain sight. So now, go listen to your favorite songs. I guarantee you'll start hearing these patterns everywhere. See you next time.